good morning or afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. It's Friday, so I'm doing my roundup of my week as a business owner. And yeah, it's been a really good week for me this week. So last week I filmed a bit early, I cheated. I filmed a little bit early because I was off to the men's semi-finals of Wimbledon. And I've obviously been going on about this on social media, but it was a really big moment for me. It was a bucket list thing. It meant a lot to me personally to be able to go. It's something that as a kid I never thought I'd be able to do. And it really got me thinking. So I was actually quite, I took some time over the weekend when I came home and I was quite emotional about the whole thing. And it really got me thinking about the things in life that we put off, or that we say we can't do, or that we say, I'll do that when. So we wait for things to happen. And as a business owner, you're likely to be somebody who's very growth focused, you're very determined, and you probably never really take stock of where you're at. And I'm not talking about giving yourself a huge pat on the back, but you don't really take stock of where you're at. And it means that you're just kind of on to the next. You're bored of the thing you're doing. You've lost excitement for the thing you're doing as it concludes because you're already thinking about what the next stage is. And I've been guilty of that in the past. And being able to go to Wimbledon was something I'd always said, like, oh, well, yeah, I can't wait when the business is huge, or I do this, that I'm going to be able to go and do all this stuff. And it's made me think about how if there's things like that you want to do, you have to do them now. You can't wait. None of us are guaranteed 5, 10, 20, 30 years. None of us guaranteed tomorrow. So you have to go and do that stuff now where you can. And if it's not feasible for you to do that stuff now, you need to think and use your creativity and entrepreneurship as a business owner to think about how you're going to be able to do those things that are important to you sooner. I think culturally, there's a lot of, I'll do that when I'm retired, or I'll do that when I sell the business, or when I exit, or when I've got a management team in, when I've got more time, when the kids are in school, when the kids have left school, when the kids have left home. We put off important things we want to do because we think it's not the right time to do it now, when in fact, there are probably a lot of things you've got on your list that you've always wanted to do, or always would have loved to do, that you could do now. And so I've just sort of taken that energy into Mazuma this week, and it means that we've had some really good, deep conversations about how we're building for the future. What can we do now? What do we need to put some stuff in place for? What's the future going to look like? And over the last year, we've brought some people into Mazuma. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, with real talent. I'm really pleased with how our management team is shaping up. And it means that when I go in with that energy about what can we do now, it gives it not an urgency, but it gives it a real time-based focus, and it keeps that energy alive. And I can feel Mazuma changing in a really good way, progressing, evolving. I can feel that we are so ready for the next stage, and people are kind of chomping at the bit to get there. And that energy I want to keep, and I'm working to keep that energy and to keep that drive moving forward and to keep that enthusiasm and that momentum, because the next stage that we're going to do is going to be hard. Of course it is. Nothing worth having comes easy. So it's going to be hard, but it's going to be incredibly rewarding. And I think that taking that mindset into the next phase for us of what can we do now? What can we achieve now? Is going to be really important. So it was really, I think this week was just a brief stop and a recognition of, to take the time as a founder to look back over your shoulder and see where you've come from, to take a moment to appreciate that and be grateful for it, and to look at the things you can do both personally and professionally. What can you do now? Don't wait for it. There's no perfect moment. Done is better than perfect. I've said that loads. What can you take from that energy to get you to the next stage now? And that's really been the theme in my brain at Mazuma this week. So yeah, that's been my life as a business owner this week. Let me know if you put off doing things because you think you're going to do it when, and let me know if any of what I've said has just changed your mind a little bit, and what things you're going to do immediately that you've been putting off for really no good reason.